Hello, and welcome back to this week's Grow Wealthy Grooming. I am your host, River Lee. I am the founder of the Savvy Groomer, where I teach pet groomers how to get their personal finances under control, and we also do business coaching. So let's begin today talking a little bit about niches or niches, depending upon how you pronounce them. I'm going to need water today. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm sure like everybody else is getting sick. So I want to talk a little bit today about how you can charge more money if you have a niche, however you want to pronounce it. And, it's going to be a little bit better on the replay. I apologize for everyone watching it live right now. In the replay, I'll be able to have them put in the money. That way you can see it there. So just follow along with me because I have my notes here. So I want to begin by talking about different niches that you can go into. And they're not always as simple as mobile, feline exclusive. You can also do one-on-one, which is one dog at a time or one cat start to finish at a time. You can do house call, which means going into someone's home to groom their pets. Or you might also have high-end grooming. And by high-end grooming, I mean, have a skill set where that might be hand stripping, that may be scissor cuts. I know that someone who actually knows how to do a proper poodle pattern can make a lot more money than somebody who's kind of winging it. As somebody who does have a standard poodle who wants my poodle to look like a poodle, I would love to spend, as much money as I need to make my poodle look like a poodle if I'm not grooming her. So let's begin first talking about mobile grooming. And I know I've done this a little bit online in one of my blogs, which was They're Not All Your Customers. And knowing how much your area is, because every area of the country, not only in the US, but Australia, New Zealand, etc., can be different depending upon where you are. I'm in the Northeast. We do have a lot of people around us. We have 4 seasons. All these things are going to attribute to where you are. So for instance, if I'm mobile in the Northeast, in the wintertime, it may be harder for me to get around. I might be slower around the wintertime versus somebody who's in Arizona. The summer might be really hot. It might be harder for them to do mobile around that time. So that aside, let's talk about the price difference. So when you're doing mobile, you know that you're going to be doing pretty much every pet start to finish. And it may not be one pet, it may be a household. It really depends upon how you choose to do your business. But when a client calls you, they know that you're not going to be having other people's pets in your van. It's going to be just their animals. So you're combining right there, they're mobile and you're doing every pet start to finish. Most mobiles are cage free. They do not have kennel banks. They're generally not kennel drying. There are some people who have DIY vans that have those. They're not my favorite, but whatever floats your boat. So again, that client who's getting mobile has cage free, their pet's done start to finish, and you're going to essentially be there the whole time. So they don't have to leave their pet. Depending upon your rules, they may not have to crate their pet at all. So like I do cats. So I don't require my mobile cat grooming clients to be in a carrier. If they want to carry them out in a towel, it's perfectly fine with me. That is up to them. So I want you to think about that for a second. Okay. That client is getting not just a groom, they're also getting one-on-one attention. They don't have to leave their driveway. Their pet is cage free. So they're going to have to pay more. So when I owned my grooming salon, I easily, with 5 employees, bather, etc., we could easily do 30 to 40 dogs a day. We were happier around 25, but with extra baths and things like that, it was pretty easy to do 30 to 40 dogs a day. Mobile wise, and now I'm just by myself mobile, realistically, I don't like doing more than 5 to 6. So very easily you can see how many less pets we do a day. Now, if I had 5 vans on 5 vans going around, I could probably do about 25 dogs a day or 25 cats a day. But because it's just me, one-on-one, realistically 5. So going from a salon to a mobile, I'm going to be doing less pets, which means I need less clients, which means I have to charge more, right? So in my salon, we would be charging an average of, we originally started really low, but at the point of when I sold it, We were charging $55 to $65 for a Shih Tzu. And this was a very simple cut Shih Tzu. This was like a 5 strip all over. Anything more than that could be 65, even up to $75. So we were charging a decent amount of money. However, when I went mobile, I started my dog prices at $79. And that was for the first hour. So that was again, a Shih Tzu and a 5 strip is going to take around an hour. And so being mobile, I had to charge at least, $20 more realistically in order to make the money back because I'm going to be doing less pets and I'm have to take into account my time driving in between those clients. So a lot of my clients that when I sold the when I sold the salon and I went to mobile, most of the clients stayed with the new owner, which was perfect. And then there were some clients that I had groomed their animal, let's say, since they were 8 weeks old and they were very attached to me. And I said, yep, you can follow me. We talked about it. Everything worked out. So with that, the price jump was not easy for them because mobile clients are generally very different than salon clients. They were used to coming in for a haircut for $55, let's say a little Shih Tzu, 5 strip, and then every other week they would go for a bath. And the bath at that point was $35. So if you look at that, they're used to paying around $90 a month. I'm sorry, my math is terrible right now. I'm sorry. So 55 and 35, yep, about $90 a month. And one haircut instead was now going to be about $80. And I couldn't do a bath for less than $79 because that was my fee. Whether I came 3 times a month, once a month, it was always at least this price. I didn't go anywhere for less than that. Now, if they had a second animal, I could do the other second animal for less money, but I couldn't do the first animal for less than that $80. What was nice about that is that it did weed out a lot of the cheap clients because they couldn't afford me. Those kind of Walmart clients, they really can't be mobile clients if your prices are high enough. And my prices were some of the highest in the area, which worked out great for me because that's what I wanted. I couldn't groom every pet, so I wanted the pets that I groomed to be the lucky few. And that changed a lot too when I went feline exclusive. So again, that person getting all those extra added bonuses is really getting a deal, but you can't convince a salon client that it's a positive thing. Somebody who wants to pay $55, 1 week and then $35 in 2 weeks for a bath, that's a great client, but it's a terrible mobile client. And so as a business owner, you have to sometimes look at what am I realistically doing? And does this client really fit my business? Even there, if they were great clients for your last business and they're not for the first. So mobile, for the most part, you're going to have one-on-one, no cages, go to the client. So you have to charge more. And how much more really depends upon how much your business model is and what other things you have. I'm not going to lie, I was a mediocre dog groomer. I'm a fantastic cat groomer, but I was a really mediocre dog groomer. So I'm sure if I had even better scissoring skills and could honestly do a lot of breeds, I can't really do a great, stylish breed profile on. I just can't. Scissoring like Yorkie legs, not my thing. Just getting full coated anything, not my thing. Everybody's different, right? So with that, I wanted to think about what are your skill sets? And you can move those into different business models too. So mobile, my van payment was about $1,500 a month. Because of that, it was actually about the same overhead as my shop, but my shop just had different bills. With my shop, I had water bill, the electricity was really high, things like that. And employees' payroll was the highest expense. Oh my God. Nothing you can do about that. I mean, it's just astronomical. So anyway, with mobile, you have that. So let's move over to house call because I feel like house call and mobile are very similar and yet so completely different. I love people that are house call groomers. I think you guys, I feel like bless your hearts, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So somebody who has never seen house call, if you're a groomer, you think about it. So a mobile van, you're driving up with your van and you have a mobile salon. With house call, you have to carry everything that you want into someone's home and use whatever they have in order to groom. That's incredibly difficult. People that are house call groomers are amazing and insane, and I have so much respect for you. And it's some of the lowest overhead, which is great if you're just starting out. That said, I think it's also one of the hardest business models to get right. And a lot of that is people say, "Oh, I don't have the $1,500 van payment, so I can't charge the same amount of money." But the truth is you have to charge even more sometimes because in a van, it's designed to be cleaned. It's designed to just work. So if you are going into someone's home, you might be using their sink, you might be on the floor in their tub, bent over, you might have to clean their entire bathroom because there's pet hair everywhere. Whatever it is, you have to do more work, therefore you need to charge more. But with house call, you have to think about it. You are this incredible niche. Not only does the owner not even have to get, out of the house, they don't even have to go out at all. They don't have to bring their pet to the driveway. They can just stay there. A lot of house call groomers allow the owners to watch. I mean, that's a nice thing to have if you're that kind of crazy owner. Um, I don't personally love when owners want to watch. I find that they just create more chaos, but there are a lot of groomers that have absolutely no problem doing that. And so again, the person doesn't have to leave. And this is great for your geriatric pets. This is great for your pets that maybe have, car ride issues, whether they get sick in the car or even if they don't just, I'm trying to think of a nice way of saying, they're just unruly, unruly pets. Yes, they're going to be unruly for you in the house, but in theory, hopefully, they're going to be a little bit better behaved where they are versus being insane and chewing the doors off of our crates, and holding areas. So again, like that is another niche where you can charge more. I've heard house call groomers. So they're still mobile, but they're house call, charging upwards of $100 an hour. And depending upon where you are, you can charge even more. I know there are New York house call groomers charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour because they have to, find a parking spot and walk all that stuff up, sometimes several flights of stairs. And if that's what you want to do, it's a great option. And it's a great way to be able to make more money while you're still grooming. So we've talked mobile, we've talked house call. Let's talk a little bit about feline exclusivity. And for those of you guys that have never heard of that, I know it's kind of an out there concept and it's becoming more and more popular, but it's pretty simple. It's only grooming cats. There's plenty of places that only groom dogs. So I guess at some point we decided we would only groom cats. I am one of those nutcases who only grooms cats now. I loved grooming dogs, but riches in the niches, bitches. That's the truth. So what I was charging for a dog was $79 for the first hour and then $1 a minute after that based on 15 minutes increments. So realistically, $80 to $102 was normally my average. With cats, I start at $100 and I would say, except for rare cases, the most expensive is $165. And just like a lot of dog people, cat people have multiple cats. So someone could have 5 or 6 cats and it's one stop and they all get groomed at the same time. It really simplified my services because my clients either got a bath and blow dry, with nail clipping, ear cleaning, all that. And they may get a comb cut. So just like a Shih Tzu, you get like half an inch or so. Now with a 5-blade, use a, attachment comb and things like that. They might get a line cut. I don't actually have any clients anymore who get line cuts, but it's an option where they get shaved in strategic areas, kind of like a lion. So there's really not a lot of variation, which is great for me and great for marketing and great for not confusing my clients. And because I am a certified feline master groomer, I do charge more. I have the skill set again. So I'm a certified groomer and I'm feline exclusive and I'm mobile. So you have all these little niches, and the more niches you have, generally the more you can charge because you're more specialized. I offered cat grooming when I had my shop. And what I found was that because I wasn't a cat grooming expert, I didn't get people that were really cat people. Like I am shocked at how many more purebred cats I have now than I did with my salon. And there's nothing wrong with domestic cats at all. It's just more of people that have spent $2,000-$3,000 on their cat want a very different kind of groomer. They want somebody who is an authority and knows what they're doing, and not just somebody who happens to groom cats. So, with that, I was able to go from an average ticket of $90 to an average ticket of 125, just by doing cats. And it's actually less products and all things like that. And I don't want to go too far into, I'm like, I love cat grooming, whoop, whoop. But everybody's different. So again, now if I was feeling exclusive in a salon, I might not charge what I charge. I have friends that are feeling exclusive groomers, and their cat bath prices are around $65 to $85, depending upon where they live. And that's still a lot better than $35 Shih Tzu bath price. So, again, if you have a niche, you may be able to charge more, and you really should charge more because you are more specialized. And please feel free, those guys that are here live, feel free to ask questions. If you have a specific niche that you're exploring and you would like a little bit of insight on, I am here for you right now. So we've gone through mobile, house call, feeling exclusive. Let's talk a little bit about one-on-one. Now, this again was all taken care of in our mobile/house call, but you can own a salon and just do dogs or cats one-on-one, start to finish. Now, this again is a specialized service. Why? Because normally in most salons, and it does depend upon what's normal in your area. Some places have everyone drop off in the morning and then they're all done by the end of the day. And then there are other shops that have, appointments cycling through all day. And some places take 2 hours, some people take 4 hours. It really depends. In my shop, the way it worked is we had everyone come in. We'd, pretty much a new dog every 15 minutes, sometimes quicker than that. We just did a lot of them, and we had a great system going. But my bath clients were there for a maximum of 3 hours. My haircut clients were there for a maximum of 4, unless if there was severe matting, an elderly pet, or something else like that. And with that, they were there for 4 hours. Why? Because we had a receptionist, and the receptionist's job was to check in on every dog. We'd have 2 on the half and 2, on the hour. So we'd have 2, 2, 2, 2. And then we'd have breaks to catch up with everybody. But what's important about that is that the timing was right and the pets went into crates, and you could take in 4 dogs in an hour. And no, they're not all done in an hour. It would have to be rotated through. So with a client that doesn't want their dog in a cage, or a client that doesn't want their pet there for more than an hour, 2 hours. The truth is, for the most part, we can do a dog. I'm talking Shih Tzu. Let's use Shih Tzus because I feel like Shih Tzus and cats are about the same size and take about the same time realistically. Unless if one's mad, unless if one's aggressive, they're pretty standard sized. So with that said, I could probably do a Shih Tzu in my mediocrity, in my grooming mediocrity. I get a Shih Tzu done, again, a 5-strip, realistically, if I had to, within an hour. If I had to. Do I want to? No. I personally don't like doing dogs in a salon start to finish, just because I'm a little ADD and I like to have time to double check my work. Even when I went mobile, I would do the dog, I'd clean everything up, put him back on the table, double check, and then text mom. So that wouldn't work well for me, but I know a lot of you guys do really great start to finish. And because you're not taking in more than one pet. I mean, if you did, let's say you're working an 8-hour shift. Realistically, if you are checking in, checking out your own dogs, cleaning up and sanitizing between every dog, and I don't mean the floors, but cleaning all the hair off your table, sanitizing it, cleaning all the hair out of the tub, sanitizing it, cleaning out the kennel, sanitizing it. Now, you may not have to do the kennel. You probably have multiple kennels, or you may not have that pet even in a kennel. But it's still going to take you about an hour. It might even take you a little bit more than that. So in an 8-hour shift, at best, you're going to be able to get 8 dogs done. But realistically, you're going to get done between 5 and 6 because not every dog is going to be cookie cutter. Not every client is going to be picking up right away. There's always going to be these little bits of overlap. So, in an 8-hour period, I'm realistically going to say you're going to get 5 to 6 dogs done start to finish. Now, some of us, even if we checked in the animals all at once, are not going to do more than that. I really don't like pushing myself, honestly, beyond 5 or 6. I've been grooming over 10 years. I'm tired. Like, I don't want to be that stressed out anymore. I don't like rushing. And everybody's different. Some people are just machines and can do 10 in 8 hours, but not if you're doing them start to finish. Start to finish, you would definitely be doing less. So, with that said, you have to charge more because if you could do 8 dogs in 8 hours, if they were overlapped, or you're doing 5 or 6, you have to take the amount of money and divide it between those. You also, if you're doing one on one, even mobile and house call really should be taking a deposit and figuring out what your cancellation policy is. If I were you, what I would do personally is basically the whole groom the very first time they come in. So let's say your minimum is $79. Then you should have a deposit of $79 in a perfect world. Why? Because if they don't show up, that sucks, but now I have an hour free to do some work and I was paid for it. Versus not having a deposit, they don't show up, you're not calling somebody in before your next dog comes in. Now, a regular client, you can have a staple deposit like $20 or whatever you want to make your cancellation policy ultimately. Some clients, one day, this one time, something's going to happen, and I'm sure you'll be over it. But it still is one of those situations that isn't ideal. So having a deposit if you're doing one-on-one grooming is going to be incredibly important. And again, that works too for mobile as well as house call because you can't replace that client in time. If they cancel, let's say less than, I say 48 hours, but if you want to go 24, that's fine too. So we've done mobile, house call, feeling exclusive, one-on-one. Let's talk a little bit about cage free. And by cage free, I don't necessarily mean just the one-on-one grooming. I mean more of cage free grooming, as in dogs running around like daycare. I think this works great in theory. I think that it is an incredible amount of liability. I think you guys really need to triple think because what works for you as one groomer. So if you own a salon with just you, the groomer, and you have phenomenal knowledge of dog behavior, you just get a really great sense of dogs. I'm that way. I was a doggy daycare manager. I can read a dog like a book. Like I'm like, you're a little shit. Or I'm like, you'll be fine. You're acting crazy, but you'll be fine. So I can do that. But do I think that the people I'm going to hire will have nearly as much dog sense as I do? Probably not because they don't have the same education, the background, the knowledge. And I can't give them that amount of knowledge and the amount of time that makes sense. That said, if you want to do cage-free grooming, that is a great way of selling yourself. If you tell people, and again, we're all going to market and we all have to take different standpoints. And I try really hard not to take a standpoint where I'm shitting all over somebody else in our industry. Like mobile, I don't say like, you don't want your dog in a cage all day or any of that stuff. But if you're going to market, it's a really great way to market that the animal's not in a cage all day. People, for some reason, can put their dog in a crate all day at home, but the second you put it in a crate in a grooming salon, it's torture. Teach their own. And also with that, you want to think about with those people, what do they want? They want to see their dog playing. So it's easy to create marketing. You can just take a picture of 2 dogs playing. You can take, pictures of like doing everybody do a sit stay with a cookie or whatever it is that you're going to do. It sells itself. That's an amazing marketing vehicle to have dogs running around playing. But on the flip side, I will say that dogs in packs, they're going to shit and piss everywhere, unless you have belly bands on them. And unless if you have somebody whose job it is to go around cleaning up, it could be a sanitation and hygiene issue. But you can definitely charge more for it because generally speaking, those dogs are all going to get dropped off in the morning. Yeah, they're going to be there all day, but by the time they get home, they're going to be exhausted and happy. And a lot of owners really love that. On the flip side, this also works if you are a grooming salon in a daycare. You have that added quality of, yeah, your dog is going to get clean, but he's also going to have great time with his friends. And again, the more niche you can get down, that is a very specific owner, and that owner will pay more. Um, personally, I wouldn't personally do that. However, I can think off the top of my head lots of lab owners, lots of doodle owners that would love their dog not just to get cleaned, but also come out home quiet. And realistically, you can add $20, $30 more than your typical groom because the dog's going to be tired. It's the same as if it went to daycare all day. Or if you're grooming in the daycare, it's nice to have a dog that played all morning and is a little bit tired and is just going to sit still. That's pretty nice as well. So let's move on to our next category, which is grooming from home. If you have a house in a place that you can legally have as a grooming salon in your house, it's a great way to include, uh, I want to say, without sounding weird, it's a great way to write off some of your house and make some of your already bills more. So, for instance, what I'm trying to say is if you're already paying your electric bill, it's really nice for that to, and again, get a good accountant for that to be a business expense. It's really nice if you're already paying for heating, it's already, it can be a business expense. If you're already paying for internet, it can be a business expense. So if you're already paying the rent and taxes, it's already now become part of it a business expense. I mean, that's all really, really nice. I did with my last house, I had a little mini grooming salon and I loved it. I loved my mobile more personally. I would not be opposed to having another house-based grooming salon. I didn't really give it time to get built up, but I did find that people showed up at weird hours and I didn't have signage and I really didn't like that. I can't even imagine how much crazier it would have been if I did have signage. But I'm also kind of a wandering soul where I like to go out. I like to see different places. I get antsy and I like working from home, but at the same time, I like my change of scenery. So with that, again, you have to think about who the client is that wants a pet to go into someone's home. I'm going to take an assumption that the client that's coming to your house will look like a grooming salon. So that's either a specific room they walk into. I'm not assuming they're walking into your living room. I'm assuming they're walking into a grooming salon that's attached to your home or on the same property, or even a room that might be your kitchen, but when they walk in, it looks like a grooming salon. So let me take that caveat for a second. So, who is this client and why will they pay more? This client will pay more money simply because they feel like your home, it's more cozy. You're going to take better care of their animal. A lot of places that are home based, they can stay. I love this one home based groomer. She literally has rocking chairs for her clients. That's really cute and cozy. And I think that really, it speaks to that client. That client is more than happy to pay double, if not triple sometimes, to be able to be there with their pet. But they don't have to worry about the same problems where the hair is all over their house. Um, and again, you don't have to be home based and one on one. You can also be home based and have rotating dogs where they'll drop off in the morning or maybe they come in and out all day. It really depends on whatever it is you want. At home grooming, you generally can charge more. However, some clients, if you have to be careful you don't emphasize in the wrong way it's at your home because some people will assume it's going to be cheaper because you're not paying all those extra bills. But the truth is you're probably paying more because you may or may not be paying now commercial taxes on the little bit of property that is the business. And fuck them, right? It's none of their goddamn business. I know. What are you going to do, right? Whoop. I'm trying to think I think that was all of my examples. So that was mobile, house call, feeling exclusive. We had our in home. Yep, I think that is all of the niches I wanted to talk to you about today. I mean, we could definitely talk about competition level grooming, but I also think that to me is pretty obvious. If you do a better haircut, you should be charging more. There's someone I really admire. Her name is Sarah Drew, and every even her shave downs have style, and I really love them. And she's an amazing dog groomer, and even her shave downs have style. And because of that, she could be in a lower income area. Like there's still wealthy people in the next town over or nearby, but she could be in less than ideal area and charge more because our grooms are better. When your grooms are better, you just have to make sure that you have the clientele that's willing to pay more for a better groom. A lot of clients won't, um, but those aren't your clients, so don't worry about them, right? All right, guys, I'm going to ask you before we leave if there are any questions you have for me. Please go ahead and type them in the chat below. I would love to help you guys out and clarify anything that I have said. I'm just going to take a quick sip. All right. It looks like that is going to be it for today. So like I said, the riches are in the niches. And I hope that we've talked a little bit about different ways that you can increase your business by choosing one of those niches and how each one would affect your business or your clientele. All right, guys. So as usual, my name is River Lee. I am your host of the Savvy Groomer blog, as well as Grow Wealthy Grooming. Consider joining my online course, Personal Finance in a Leash, where I take you through 12 weeks of learning how to go from surviving to thriving using your personal finance. And we will also be doing a current challenge. If you want to see anything about that, go ahead to my Facebook page. Just look up, facebook.com/Grow Wealthy Grooming. All right, guys, take it easy and happy grooming.